So, so I went to prison this week, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I went to 2 prisons, a couple police stations.
Leavenworth?
Well, no. But so I'm in this prison, and I roll in, and I hear a bunch of crazy noise.
Right, Subblock 9.
Girls screaming, not in a good way.
No.
Right? So I'll go in and do my little deal, and the place I'm going happens to be right beside like this holding cell. And the guard's like, "Oh man, I didn't know you were coming." And I'm like, "What happened?" She goes, "You'll see." And I walked over there, and like, I started sneezing, coughing. My eyes were running. My nose is running. My eyes were running.
Wow.
What had happened? She just freaking gave somebody the pepper spray. You ever been pepper sprayed?
This was a guard had given a prisoner a
and
pepper
this isn't
spray?
the kind of pepper spray you get at like Walmart.
This is the industrial
low level,
strength.
like geek level pepper spray. This is like the floor a running rhino pepper spray of absolute death. Oh man, that sucked.
Yeah, you had to repair that instrument right beside the pepper spray.
Well, I didn't fool with the instrument. I was like, I walked out of there, but I mean, you couldn't go anywhere because it was like booking. And I asked the chick, I'm like, why did you do that? And she's like, listen, that chick, it was bad mouthing me. You had to get her some pepper spray action.
That's what I do.
So the girls had to come out and take showers, and they came out and they were all
Is this an Orange is the New Black situation?
No, this was more like the nasty is the new ugly situation. But these chicks came out and their whole face was red, and I mean, not a good red. I mean, like I'm embarrassed. I mean, like someone had just slapped you 100 times, like E Honda style, and every part of their face was leaking crap. It's disgusting.
Now let me ask you a question. When you're visiting these prisons, how often are you interacting with A, female guards, and B, I know you're not interacting with female convicts, but how often do you see?
Oh yeah,
female
they're right
convicts?
there often.
Yeah.
Oh, quite often. Yeah, they mix
So
them all up.
in the jail system, it's not segregated by the gender.
No. You got not every place is like this, but that particular place, they got chicks and dudes rolling, rocking and rolling. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Don't go to jail. Is my guess of what I'm saying.
That's what I tell my attorney every time I get my taxes done. Keep me out of jail.
When I was in high school, my economics teacher was the mayor of our town, Mayor Raymond Peak, and he told us. He said, "Listen," he goes, "if you're going to commit a crime, steal at least $1 million." He said, if you steal less than that, then it's not worth it in the long run. He's right. Because when you go to jail, they get you.
It's the best advice I've ever received.
Listen, you got to pay for your food. The people think, oh, the taxpayers are getting fleeced. No, the economists got to pay for their food, their stay, their booking fees, all the crap that they had to pay for everything. They're getting fleeced. And so a big problem in the States is if you get put in jail, like you're destitute when you're screwed when you get out. Plus, that's
why so many people just go right back to prison after they get out.
Oh, it's a revolving door, And something else that'll get you is that everyone there is like super young. Like I asked the guard, I'm like, look at these chicks. They look like they're like just got out of high school. She's like, yeah, they're all
hot.
They're all like that. She's like 90% of the people in here young, and like almost all of them like coming in for drugs.
Wow.
Drugomania, running wild. So yeah, that's what it was. It was an interesting experience.
You know, Mayor Peak just died.
I do know that. Yeah, it was a real bummer.
You know, he was first elected in like 57. That was his first term.
He's been around for a while. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
He really was a great guy.
Yeah.
And everybody here beloved.
Yeah.
I heard his funeral was off the charts. You know, he was a real good cat. But I learned a lot from him in economics. That's the only economics class I ever took where I felt like
I can't believe
got my
Mayor
money's
Peak
worth.
taught your economics class.
Absolutely. He taught. In fact, when I graduated, Mayor Peak, have I ever told the story of my graduation where I screwed over the system?
No.
Mayor Peak, we had at our graduation party, if you were a loser type school person, instead of going to a cool guy graduation party like a motel or something, you went. The school had one, and it was for the whole county, and it was over at the Votech Center.
Oh man, keeps getting better and better.
And so what they had was like gambling night. I never told you this tale. And so on gambling night, you would go in and they assign everyone like X amount of money, and you go around to these different tables. And you gamble, real life gambling, to make money. And at the end of the night, they have a big auction of the fake money you've won. And they had a trip to Kings Island and all different stuff. So I did all my gambling, and I hated school. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you. I had 4 years of I hated high school, I hated middle school, I hated it all. My school career was not that great. I mean, I did great at school, but I mean, I hated it. So I was ready to get out of here. So when they were adding up my money, I watched the chick add it up because I wanted to make sure she didn't screw me. She accidentally added a 0 to my total.
Ooh.
So if like the total for everyone else was like $1,000 was the most you had, I had 10,000. I had like 10 times more than everybody else had. I had just an unlimited amount of cash. And so I didn't know that at the time, but I did see that she'd screwed up. And so we went in there and sat down, and everyone in there were people I didn't like, except for a few of my friends that came with me. And
Was
so,
Hose there?
Hose wasn't there. So
He was at the motel.
They started auctioning stuff off. He had graduated. Remember, he's a year behind me. And
He was still at the motel.
they graduate. They auction off a trip to Kings Island, and a guy bids like say $700, and he goes going once, going twice. I go 2,000. Oh, and I won. And I did this over and over, and people were furious.
You dominated. This was
Everyone-
your time. This was your Revenge of the Nerds moment.
It did. Everyone hated me. Like all the people from Polka, they all hated me. So after that, I'd used all my money. I gave my buddies all the stuff. I did get a TV. I got myself a TV,
Wow.
a big color TV. So at the end of the night, they were giving away a scholarship to Marshall,
Whoa.
and they were randomly picking names out of a hat, and they picked my name, and the crowd booed me. They booed me when I went up on stage with the other 4 or 5 people. And Mayor Peak was the guy drawing. And when he saw me come up, he cackled. He had laughed at my antics all night.
Oh, yeah.
And so finally when they drew the winner of the scholarship, Aaron Dowdy, they booed me out of there. They were so pissed off.
That's
They were
an awesome
screaming
story.
fixed. You know, Mayor Peak was like, congratulations. I was like, thanks. And I always wondered if Mayor Peak's, because he's the one that,
Was it the frozen envelope situation?
Well, he read the name, and I saw him. He read my name, and he kind of put the thing in his pocket. And I always wondered if I was actually my name on that ticket, or if he would just give me a break for all the screwing I'd get taken over the years.
He was. He knew about it. He knew about it all.
So my first semester of Marshall was paid for by Putnam County Schools, of all things. And then I remember getting all my stuff thrown in the car and driving at breakneck speed home. I was so happy. It was the last
It was
day of
probably one of the
school.
best nights of your life.
It was. It was great.
Yeah.
And I never had to go back, and that was also great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun. Well, what did you do on graduation? Your very last big party?
We didn't have any graduation party. I think me and Chad kind of played some Magic, and it was pretty fun.
That's it?
Yeah.
You didn't have a party? You go to any parties at all?
No.
Because even I went to a motel party later.
I don't think that they had graduation
Did
parties.
they have
by the
motel
time.
parties when you were coming out?
No.
No.
Or maybe they did, and I just didn't run with the right crowd.
Were you in high school? Would you consider yourself sort of a cool guy, like an indescript middle guy, or a dud?
I was
boy?
total dud. Total dud.
You were a dud?
I didn't come into my own. Well, it depends, because you know how it is when you're in the band. When you're in the band, you know, in the eyes of your non-band students, you are a total dud. But in the eyes of the band, I'd say I was middle to high, you know, in terms of kids in the band.
What if it's like that all over the world? Like if
Oh, I
you're in a
guarantee you
if you're in a
is.
high school band, it seems. I never understood that. People like rock and roll and stuff. Where do they think these dudes learn how to do music? A lot of those guys were band
Oh
members,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Why is that cool? But if you're in a band, you're a dork. I never
It's,
could
you know,
figure it out.
it's one of the weird things about the American school system is that, you know, we honor athletes, but anything that takes intellect, we scorn.
Well, I don't know if reading music doesn't take that much intellect, does it? I knew plenty of dumb guys in the band.
Well,
I saw a dude hit another dude with a tuba. For God's sake.
I'm not saying that everybody in the band was a genius. That's
That's
for sure.
true. I mean, so you think like Japan? Like I've seen this videos you have, and like the bands are like mega talented. They're out
Yeah.
there freaking, they're break dancing and go
Right.
crazy. Surely those guys aren't ridiculed.
Oh yeah, and it's weird too, because once you get into college, if you're in like college, like Ohio State's band or something like that, then you're like, yeah, you know, people love it. But it's just, I don't know.
Now let me ask you. We've got the chat room here at our disposal. Anyone over there can tell me if being in the band in your particular country was a bad mark.
This is going to be a non-starter because there aren't school bands in other countries.
You're kidding me. They don't have really.
Yeah, it's an
Why is that,
it's an
Bo?
after-school activity. It's like a sport.
But that's what we have.
It's not
Yeah.
associated with the school. It's not a class you take during the day.
I see. So one would assume that they're less scorned than other places, right?
I don't know. Like there were several schools that I taught overseas that didn't have a band at all, and some schools that like the whole school was like a fine arts school.
Uh-huh.
You know. So.
One thing I thought about doing.
Yeah, look at this. No school band. No school band.
You know, you have started or you have joined up with this local town band,
Right.
And so I thought to be fun for me to see how the other people live that I might start showing up at the practices and just mocking you.
You should. You should
And
totally
all the
just
other
mock
losers
us.
and geeks in the band, and maybe would stand outside and laugh.
There are several police officers in the band that I'm sure would totally enjoy your antics. And
What do they play? They play whistle, like traffic cop whistle.
You should also drop that line when you come into mock us.
You don't think they'd like that one? They might pay percussion with the billy club. Boom, 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 right upside of my head.
So it looks like there is no.
Come on, Retro Man Cave. That's an old chestnut there.
Yeah. So yeah, there's it's just school band is not a thing overseas.
Oh man, well I shot that but good. So
Yeah.
basically, we're the only country that has a school band.
Yeah.
That's
how it is.
That's the way it goes. Well,
All right, you ready to start?
yeah, let's go.
Okay.